Hello everyone, and welcome to Mastering Mobile Display. My name is Bert Lamar, and I'm an agency trainer here at Google. I'm joined today by my fellow agency trainer, Rachel Raghawan, who will be producing today's Hangout on Air. All right, before we get started, there is actually one small change that I'd like to make, in fact, to the title of this presentation. There we go, much better. Now, I made this little adjustment because I think that by the end of this presentation, you will agree that taking complete advantage of the rich palette of ad formats, targeting options, and optimization tools available to you across the mobile display network is actually more art than science. Okay, now it's time for a little housekeeping before we dive into the learning objectives for today's session. First, I'd like to remind everyone that the Hangout is being recorded. So you will have access to this training after today's session. Of course, feel free to ask questions or leave comments during today's session. In order to do so, please make sure you've clicked yes, you're attending, and then enter your question or comments into the Say Something field, which is located directly below this presentation window. Now, your feedback is very important to us. We ask that everyone complete the survey, and we'll do actually a raffle of all survey entries and select one lucky individual to win a Google Chromecast. So please make sure you complete the survey at the end of the session so that you can get your chance to win that Chromecast. All right, now let's review our learning objectives for today. At the end of this training, you should be able to articulate the mobile display value proposition to your clients, execute 7 best practices for mastering mobile display, select mobile ad formats and targeting options that match your client's goals and value propositions, and cite some real-world examples of mobile display mastery. All right, next we'll take a look at the specific topics that we'll cover during today's session. We'll begin with a brief review of the mobile display value proposition, after which we'll cover 7 best practices for mastering mobile display. Next, we'll take a look at some creative and engaging ad campaigns that are prime examples of the art of mobile display in action. And we'll close with a breakdown of some key takeaways from today's session. All right then, without further ado, let's move on to our first topic, which is the mobile display value proposition. Now, once upon a time, in fact, not too long ago, convincing advertisers that they should invest in mobile was a hard sell. Today, however, many advertisers are more likely to ask, how should I invest in mobile, than why? Now, this shift in attitude can largely be explained by the explosion of internet use during the past few years. These are some pretty impressive statistics. 57% of people now own a smartphone in the US. Consumers are now spending nearly 40% of their internet time on mobile. Average consumer spends 2 hours per day on mobile apps. And 15% of e-commerce transactions will occur over mobile in 2013. Now, with statistics like these, it's easy to understand how advertisers that once were skeptical have a new appreciation for mobile display and the mobile display value proposition. So what is the high-level value prop for mobile display? Well, it starts with best-in-class targeting to mobile audiences with methods, keyword contextual targeting, remarketing, and many, many more. Now that targeting can be applied against the largest mobile ad network with 89% reach among global internet users and access to targeting 300,000 apps and 420,000 mobile optimized sites, not to mention mobile YouTube with 1 billion views a day. In addition, there's a huge variety of ad formats that you can use, either for pure performance advertisers or brand performance. The interactive engagement of mobile display surpasses that of desktop. And most importantly, let's not forget about performance, proven performance. Mobile display accounts for 15% of overall Google Display Network conversions at comparable CPAs. And mobile display is yet another proven performance tool that can bring in additional conversions for your advertiser. All right, now it's time for us to drill down into 7 steps, or best practices, if you will, to mastering mobile display. All right, number 1, develop a mobile strategy based on your value proposition. That's going to be very important for you to help your clients. This might be your number 1 goal, to help your clients to develop a mobile display strategy that makes sense for their business. Take some time to clearly understand the mobile display value proposition from their perspective. Ask yourself, what are their goals? Do they want to drive customers to their new mobile optimized website? Or maybe they've already launched a site and they want to increase mobile conversions. Understanding your client's mobile display value proposition will help you to select the ad formats, targeting options, and buying models best suited to achieve their mobile campaign objectives. Number 2, develop a mobile optimized website and branded apps. If your clients have any hope of mastering mobile display, they'll need a website that can overcome the ever-shrinking attention span of today's web surfing consumer. A recent study shows that 57% of users won't recommend a business with a poorly designed mobile site, and 40% have turned to a competitor's site after a bad mobile experience. If those numbers don't convince your clients that not developing for mobile is no longer an option, I'm not sure what will. And once your client has a mobile optimized website, their next step should be to develop a branded app. It's important for advertisers to consider how their consumers want to engage with them via mobile before they begin development. If your app fails to deliver any real value to consumers, even if it's just pure entertainment value, you can bet it won't lead to many downloads in the app stores. Now, I'm not going to spend too much time on this topic because Rachel recently delivered and recorded a training entitled Customizing the Mobile Experience that addresses mobile optimized site and branded app development extensively. I highly recommend that you take some time to view it if this topic is a particular concern to you. And you can access it on our Google Partners website. All right, number 3, create display-only campaigns. If your client's goal is to focus their advertising exclusively on mobile display as opposed to search, you should create display-only campaigns for them. This will give you access to the full set of display-specific bidding options while allowing for better control of budgeting and reporting. And there are a couple of different types of display-only campaigns to consider. The first is a multi-device display campaign, which includes desktop, tablets, and mobile devices. In most cases, a multi-device display campaign with mobile-preferred creatives and mobile bid adjustments is the best option for advertisers, as that's going to allow you to run both desktop and mobile GDN ads from a single campaign while still specifying mobile ads and bids. And there are some instances in which a mobile display-only campaign is an advertiser's best option. One example is if your campaign requires targeting of a specific OS, devices, or carriers. Number 4, use mobile-specific ad formats. Use mobile-preferred creatives to direct users to the best landing page when these ads are viewed on mobile devices. Now, on mobile-only campaigns, if you have separate ad text for mobile phones and tablets, you might want to consider creating a universal ad for the tablet and a mobile-preferred ad for mobile phones. Because if you don't create a universal ad in the ad group, those mobile-preferred ads will run on tablets. And also, make sure that you're adding all of the Google Display Network ad formats from image to text to reach the most users possible. All right, number 5, take full advantage of flexible bidding options. Now, since the release of Enhanced Campaigns, display campaigns now offer more granular controls that allow advertisers to bid based on the value of their target audiences, using default bids, custom bids, and display bid adjustments. If you're creating a multi-device campaign, it's a good idea to start by setting your mobile device bid adjustment above 0% in order to show ads on sites viewed on mobile devices. Now, if you're creating a brand new campaign, you should probably start with an ad group or a custom bid. Let your campaign run for 2 to 3 weeks before changing bids or setting bid adjustments. Then, identify characteristics that are most important to your campaign performance and set custom bids for that targeting criteria, such as audience data, interest categories and demographics, or contextual data, including keywords or topics. Remember, custom bids trump default bids. Okay, now let's move on to step 6. Step 6 is set up conversion tracking to measure ROI. If you're not using conversion tracking, you won't be able to know which ads are in fact most successful at converting. So this is a really, really important step. Step number 7, optimize. I really want to say optimize, optimize, and optimize. For starters, you want to determine performance by device. So after running your campaign for, say, 2 to 3 weeks, check your campaign performance by segmenting by device on the Campaigns tab. Now, if you discover that cost per conversion is not meeting your goal on mobile devices, but is meeting your goal on tablet desktop computers, you might want to check to see if that's true with all ad groups or if there are some outliers. If there are no outliers, decrease your mobile bid adjustment and check again after 2 weeks. You also want to make sure that you're utilizing our auto optimization tools like Conversion Optimizer, Enhanced Campaigns, and Display Campaign Optimizer, all of which take device type into consideration. Of course, don't forget to optimize your bids. Once your campaign is run for 2 to 3 weeks, look for extremes in your data when setting bid adjustments. Where is an ad group doing best and worse? Find trends that can help choose where to focus or adjust your bids. Now, if mobile devices are converting at half the cost of your desktop traffic, increase your mobile bid adjustment to ensure that you're maximizing ROI. Optimize placements. After your campaign has been running for 2 to 3 weeks, sort automatic placements by conversions. Increase bids on placements that have high volume of conversions and low CPA. Now, after your campaign has been running for 2 to 3 weeks, sort automatic placements by cost and pause those placements that have a high cost and 0 conversions. Optimize keywords. After your campaign has been running for 2 to 3 weeks, sort keywords by conversions. Increase bids on keywords that have a high volume of conversions and low CPA. You also want to sort keywords by cost and pause those keywords that have a high cost and 0 conversions. And of course, don't forget about performance reports. Visit the Display Network tab to see performance reports by placement, topic, audience, age, and gender. Okay. Now that we've reviewed some mobile display best practices, it's important that we dig a little deeper into the many targeting options available on the mobile display network. As we discussed earlier, there are a ton of options available to you. There are mobile-specific targeting options where you can actually target by carrier, OS, or device model. You also have remarketing, of course, and interest category targeting. Demographic, where you can actually target by gender or age. Placement, where you can target by managed placements. So you only want your ads to run on a specific area of the site or only on specific sites. You can target by location, which includes country, state, or DMA. Language, you can target by over 41 different languages. Of course, there's category and topic, pages or apps about a specific subject. Keyword targeting, terms, of course, related to your products or services. And then this one, which I think is really cool, is new mobile devices. You can actually target recently activated devices. All right, now we've talked about the importance of developing a mobile strategy that's based on your client's goals and value proposition. And we've also outlined the many targeting options available to help them reach their consumers during moments that matter. Now it's time to put it all together. The next 3 slides cover selecting ad formats and targeting tactics based on the value proposition of your clients. We'll start with customer acquisition. Now let's say that the goal of your client is to acquire new customers. And their value prop is to expand their customer base through precisely defined targeting, driving new customers to their site, or driving app downloads. Let's take a look at some ad formats and targeting tactics ideal for executing campaigns based on that value prop. Well, for starters, you want to make sure that you're using ad formats such as banner ads, click-to-call, click-to-download, and text. Those will run across mobile sites with a CPC or CPM pricing model, and you can use a variety of targeting, including keyword, audience, affinity, actually as part of audience, in-market, affinity, interest, demographic, as well as geo and time of day. Also, think about using the app promo banner ad formats and interstitials. These can be run across apps, and they can target carrier, new device, ICN, OS, device, geo, and even Wi-Fi. And of course, I know we're not really focused on search here, but you can also use ad formats like click to download and mobile app extensions on mobile search, targeting keywords. And now, let's say that your client's launching a new product, and the value prop is to build brands and engage users at scale or drive mobile conversions. Let's take a look at some ad formats and targeting tactics ideal for executing campaigns based on that value prop. So for starters, you want to take a look at, in terms of ad formats, YouTube apps or mobileyoutube.com. And then these ad formats are actually paid for by reserve as opposed to auction. Similarly is the YouTube roadblock, which is another banner, and TrueView, which provides a skippable video. That's actually targetable by content and behavioral, whereas those other two YouTube formats do not, unfortunately, actually allow for targeting. And there's also the interactive video or branded video wall, which allows for targeting by carrier, device, or behavioral. Interstitials, which can be targeted by content, demographics, carrier, device, or behavioral, and then finally, of course, mobile sites. Again, targetable by content, behavioral, demo, geo, time of day, and device. All right, now finally, let's consider the value prop for a client whose goal is to drive sales, and take a look at some of the ad formats and targeting tactics best suited to achieve that goal. Okay, so here we're looking at some of the ad formats which you can use to, or actually remarketing is one of the best targeting tactics that you can use here to re-engage the mobile customers who might have visited your site but didn't actually take an action on your site or app when they first came there. Now, the ad formats which you can use here are banner ads, click to call, click to download, dynamic and static ads, and also text, which are targetable by keyword, audience, geo, and time of day. And then finally, banner ads, which of course you can run on mobile apps, and also targeting carrier, new device, ICN, OS, device, geo, and Wi-Fi. All right, now before we take a look at some real-world examples of advertisers demonstrating the art of mobile mastery, I'd like to take a very brief poll. We'll throw a question out there to the group. Please name a targeting option that you often use on mobile display campaigns, and tell us why. Come on, don't be shy, everyone. Enter your responses into the Say Something field located below the presentation window. And after we take a look at our case studies, I'll actually read the responses. All right, we're going to begin our case studies with M&Ms. M&M's snack-sized pieces of chocolate in a candy shell are instantly recognizable all over the globe. In 2004, M&M's launched My M&M's, an online service that enables customers to print their own personalized message logo, or photo on the shelves of M&M's candies. An important key to the success of My M&M's is a multi-screen marketing strategy that includes both search and display advertising. All right, now let's take a look at a brief video about the My M&M's campaign.
My M&M's are the personalized brand extension of M&M's chocolate candies. You can personalize the actual M&M's on the actual outer candy shell with names, faces, and images. So if they're inspired to search for My M&M's perhaps, they can do so on their phone when they're in a store or at the My M&M's store. They can also do so from home on their tablet or on their desktop. And so it really opens up a realm of possibilities for My M&M's to be relevant at the moment. With this rapid change that we've seen in users from multiple devices, we've had to shift our strategy and we have had to evolve our strategy. And enhanced campaigns have really helped us do that in a very efficient way. We've been able to adjust our bids for the time of day, location, and time of week. We find that many of our consumers tend to convert during the week rather than on the weekends, so we've adjusted our campaigns accordingly. My M&M's engaged the DoMart project to help us restructure our digital marketing programs, and search was one of the programs that we were working with.
Moving to enhanced campaigns greatly simplified our account management process. We moved from 150 campaigns down to 50 campaigns. We simplified the ongoing account management process.
We found that mobile may also be an entry point. It may be the signal of the start of an eventual conversion. So we're able to take that information and adjust our bids accordingly based on how those users may convert again on mobile or convert on a desktop or tablet.
We saw tangible results from our enhanced campaign transition. In search, we saw an increase in revenue of 22%. Our ROI in search specifically was boosted 31% after enhanced campaigns.
Every time Google has come out with a different enhancement, I don't want to say they've had us in mind, they've had the consumer in mind and making things easier for the consumer, but it feels like they've made it, it almost feels like they've made it special for us.
All right, now let's take a look at our next case study, which is Express. Now, I'm sure you're all familiar with Express. They're a specialty apparel and accessories retailer. Now, when they headlined their 2012 Fall Collection digital marketing efforts with tablet and mobile rich media ads, they worked with Google to create smartphone and tablet ads featuring a large, high-resolution carousel of product images with clickable Shop Now and Find a Store buttons. They reached their core audience more effectively with Google's audience targeting settings. The initial engagement results were impressive. Tablet and smartphone click-through rates were 2.5 times and 2.8 times higher than Google's internal PC display benchmark. Comparing tablet and smartphone ads, tablet ads drove engagement around browsing products, whereas mobile ads were more likely to drive in-store engagement. Tablet users were 28% more likely than smartphone users to browse products as a result of Express ads, whereas smartphone users were 61% more likely than tablet users to check for nearby store locations. Hence, different devices, different uses. Amber Uray, Express's head of digital marketing, feels encouraged to continue their investment in tablet-rich media advertising, saying, "The campaign was an eye-opening experience and really affirmed our hunch about mobile, and especially tablet's potential to drive shopper interest and action." We'll continue to learn from our initial findings from this first campaign and even look for ways to establish new linkages between tablet engagement and our e-commerce site, as well as in-store sales. Okay, now let's see if we got any responses to our poll question. No, it doesn't look like it. I'm going to give you guys one last chance. Are there any particular targeting options that you typically or often use on mobile display campaigns, and why? All right then, we're going to move right along. Since we didn't get any responses to our poll, we're going to just go ahead and review some of the key takeaways from today's session. All right, number one, develop a mobile display strategy that's aligned with your client's value proposition. Select ad formats and targeting options that match your client's goals and value proposition. And number three, remember, mastering mobile display is more art than science. So don't be afraid to be creative and take full advantage of the rich palette of ad formats, targeting tactics, and flexible bidding options available to you on the mobile display network. All right, now before I see if there are any additional questions, I'd like to let you all know about our upcoming mobile trainings. Our next mobile session is Advancing the Art of In-App Advertising, which will be this Friday, December 6th at 12:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Now, the topic of this session will be driving the mobile marketing with ads in apps and understanding your targeting options, creative, AdMob, and GDN. And then we also have Power Performance of Mobile with Measurement, which will be held on Monday, December 9th, again at 12:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Now, you can gain some valuable insights via universal analytics and in-app tracking for smarter mobile marketing if you attend this session. All right. Now let me just see if there are any, open the floor just up to see if there's any questions at all. If you do have any questions or comments, as I said earlier, please go ahead and type them into the Say Something box, which is located directly beneath the presentation window. All right, since we don't have any questions, we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. I'd like to thank you all for coming, and again to encourage you all to complete our survey for a chance to win your very own Google Chromecast. All right, thank you so much, and enjoy the rest of your day.